Good morning out there from the patio. It's a gorgeous morning. I woke up with some thoughts. Grab a cup of coffee. Come join me. For people that get confused, this isn't live. You're not missing a live, although I am going to schedule one, but not exactly sure when. But I do have information about the floral class. Stay tuned for that I've come up with, and some other things, and some supplies and stuff like that we're going to need for that. But I'm going to start out I'm coming up with a new segment for this channel. And the name of this segment is, Yep, I Got Time Today. Yep, I got yigged. Yep, I got. We're just going to call it, we're getting yiggy. Yitty. We'll make the G silent. Yep, I got yitty. I'm going to get yitty with you today. Because I got time. And it's a beautiful day. And I'm in a really good mood. And sometimes adversity flips itself on you and gives you an opportunity. So last night, this guy, right there, hopefully he's going to behave here while I'm talking to you. He decided to wake up at 4:30 and scratching at the door. So that means you got to get up and take him out. So for whatever reason, he had to go. He doesn't do that unless he has to go, and you don't want the alternative. Oh, the other thing I'm going to tell you is about this lipstick. My lipstick success yesterday, and I know all the guys are going to want to know that story. So stick around for that and the floral thing. So he wakes me up at 4:30, take him out. I'm just like wide awake. John had to leave super early this morning for something, so I was having that on my mind, and so I just was sort of waking up, anticipating that and saying goodbye to him and stuff. So I just was awake, 4:30, and I did what every idiot would do at 4:30 in the morning when you're awake and you should go back to sleep, and I picked up my phone. The blue screen and everything, this thing you're not supposed to do, but I did it. So I picked up my phone and I had an alert from YouTube that I just spilled this coffee all over my blanket. You know, this really cute cup, look how cute that is. It's got flowers in there, in the double wall. It sucks. It's cute, but it's dribbles, and I can't figure it out. Why that's so dribbly. So I see this message. I'm not going to say the name of the person because I'm not going to. As much as you might be curious, I'm not going to initiate that kind of thing, action. Because that's not the point of this story, is responding in kind. I had a message from someone. I wish I could remember exactly how it goes. I'm going to paraphrase it. It's short but virulent. It goes something like, so does that nasty owl tattoo you have mean that it's you which killed Dan? The which stands out, that it's you which killed Dan, something like that. WHICH. So someone was looking at my video of me driving yesterday talking about going to get a pedicure and decided that they were going to troll my tattoo and accuse me of killing Dan Markell. Okay, in one sentence, this person did. So I looked at this like the absolute absurdity of this. And I was surprised by my reaction because you guys know I've been heavily trolled on my other site. I shut it down over a massive smear campaign, and there was a person that initiated, a little group of people that initiated sort of a norm that it's okay to talk to me like that. It's okay to treat me like that. It's okay to regard me like that. And so they sort of normalized that behavior. So occasionally someone, loses, or they just want to exercise their ability to be abusive, and they use me as the person to do that on. There's a lot of that goes on the internet. It does not happen as much here because I do immediately ban them, and I don't ever tell you about it. I think this is the first time I told you guys about banning somebody, but I didn't ban this person. He's a male, without responding, which was the nasty owl tattoo that he's talking about. is a donut. You can see my swatches still on there from some of the lipstick that was quite permanent. It's a donut. It's a pink donut with cute little fuzzy ears. Like, see, it's got a little face, a little smiling face on top of the donut. That is a cartoony image that our daughter put on a birthday card for me when she was like 7 years old. And I went and got it tattooed on my wrist so that she's always with me. And she knows that. And one day I'm going to be a really old lady and she might be holding my hand in a hospital someday. And she's going to know that she's been a part of me always. It means a lot to me, this tattoo. That someone felt that, inspired by that, to leave that kind of absurd, but I don't know, fill in the blank word, vitriol, about that pink donut. So before I banned him, as he's a male, I said something back like, so does it mean that the fact that this is actually a pink donut that was drawn by a 7-year-old on a birthday card mean, how did I used his terminology? I'm sorry, I don't remember it. It's been a few hours. That you're the person which needs a new prescription? Of course, I was thinking glasses, but that could be applied in many ways, right? There's a lot of prescriptions a person could need. And then I banned him. But I think when you do that, when you block them, you just hide them from the channel. Like, I'm sure you're out there watching me right now. You're hidden from the channel, so we'll never see you again. So you can rant and rave all you want where you're at, and I'll never see your comments again. But I think he could see that comment because I was sort of amused that he thought this pink donut was an owl. And somehow I'm now responsible. There's been, 5 people convicted in that homicide? But now I'm the one, So anyway, the whole point of the story, I wouldn't be telling you this story if there was not a point, if there wasn't like a learning, And so I was laying in bed and I was like, I had a smile on my face. It was, and you would think that I didn't. Well, part of it was he has a YouTube channel. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's related to a certain animal, insect. And at the header, you can put a picture on your YouTube channel. Part of his pictures is a plane covered in Nazi imagery. So he's a Nazi. So this man that made that comment is a Nazi. Or at least wants to be a Nazi, or identifies as a Nazi, or reveres Nazis, but there's Nazi paraphernalia right at the top of his page. So that's his jam. It's like, I am a Nazi. So that even was more amusing. Like, okay, I've got a Nazi now trolling me like this. And honestly, for the first time, this has been going on, you guys, for over a year. So, and there's been a lot of trauma involved, as you can imagine. But this was the first time that there was anything, the absurdity of it, the Nazi part, that there was just, it was just like, this is freaking crazy, and I was just sort of amused by the whole thing, and then banned him, and then that was it. Screenshotted it so I could send to a friend, and then banned it. And anyway, so I got to thinking about how, how in public speaking, this might be something, I got a couple of takeaways from this. How in public speaking they say, and this never worked for me because I'm still terrified of public speaking, but this is one little trick they tell you, is to look out at the audience and think that they're all naked. And then like that eases your nerves, like they're just all a bunch of sea of naked people. This just sort of global image. I'm just laughing. What? Yeah, so that popped in my mind last night. And I thought, this Nazi brought me a gift. So thank you. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for, displaying your Nazihood so I could see it. Thank you for this gift, which was that now any of them, known or unknown names that are out there doing this shit to me and that are continuing to do it and that have the audacity to come into my space and do that, they're all him. He's now the face. He is now the face of that coalition of people. He's your general. He's your president. He's your, top dog. So there's even an image that came with it. I was really amusing myself last night because imagine a certain type of an insect, and I've got him flying around carrying a Nazi flag with Mr. Magoo's glasses on, because he's blind, right? He thinks that's an owl. So just know, if you want to, from here going forward, like, all the people in the audience are naked, all y'all out there doing these games, talking smack, making stuff up about me, thinking it's a flex, thinking you're doing something. I am looking at every single one of you as if you are this insect flying around holding a Nazi flag with Mr. Magoo's glasses. Thank you for that. I needed that imagery. I needed a mascot for your team, because you have like a little team over there. It's your team against me, but anyway, I'm not against you. As someone said to me, make them like glass. But now they're not just glass to me. So you look right through them. Well, that came from Carm Waldman. Make them like glass, so you see right through them. That's one of her isms that found its way to me about this stuff. But now it's not just glass. It's an insect carrying a Nazi flag with Mr. Magoo's glasses. We gotta find humor where we can, guys, really. I'm in such a good space these days that, good luck with it knocking me around, and, good luck with that. But the other takeaway from this is that I got to think about this morning. This whole bit about you need to develop a thicker skin. To my fellow thin-skinned compadres out there, that we just were born that way, and that's how we navigate through the world. With thin skins. We are sensitive. That's one reason people gravitate to us. We can empathize with people. We get it. People reach out to me because they know I'm going to understand what they're going through. But that sensitivity, that made me a good therapist, as an MFR therapist, because I could feel what's happening in the tissues. It's that sort of thing. But you're vulnerable, and oftentimes I'm realizing, sort of studying this strange cultural phenomenon that I've been on the receiving end, is that there seems to be a commonality between targets, and that is the thin skin thing. It's so predatory that they're just looking for the easy prey. So anyway, if any of my fellow thin-skinned compadres out there, don't buy into you just need to have a thicker skin. If we could grow a thicker skin, we probably would. You need to develop some coping strategies, and humor is a good one. So what I just described to you, is a coping strategy, but it was sort of handed to me by this Nazi. But I now have something in my toolbox that's just for me. I'm not running around calling these people, but trust me, if and when I see them ever, they are going to be overlaid. You can have an overlay, like a filter, like a Snapchat filter, that's going to go right on them of this insect carrying a Nazi flag with Mr. Magoo's glasses. That's the way it's going to be for here and evermore, because I now have this new coping strategy about it. So it's you do have to develop ways to cope. But this whole, you need to have a thicker skin, that is what abusers say to people, to blame them for reacting to the abuse. Okay? It's normal to feel hurt when somebody is trying to hurt you intentionally. That is also a warning sign. You don't want to lose that warning sign. If something doesn't feel right, if something feels unsafe, if something feels dangerous or scary or painful, these are warning signs. These are warning signs in our body that something's not right, that we need to pay attention to. People have massive heart attacks because they've ignored warning signs, so that are physical sensations. So if you're feeling something, there's a reason for that, and you don't want to lose that. You don't want to lose your calibration of that. You want to develop coping skills. But people that are abusers and people that are predators, they want to say, oh, you just need to develop a thicker skin, because they want to keep abusing. So they want to make now the fact that you're reacting to their abuse is also your problem. So you deserve the abuse, but then also you deserve the furtherance of the abuse, because you happen to have the audacity to have a natural reaction to being abused. So if someone is intentionally trying to hurt you, it's normal to feel hurt. to feel pain by that, okay? And it's just how we choose to manage it. And so humor is a good one. And, feel free to take this imagery. If you want to write me privately, I'll tell you what the insect is so you can have a more clear picture. Honest to God, if I knew it, I might ask my husband with this new AI program if he could make it for me and he actually have it flying around. It was a gift. So thank you out there from over in the band center, because you did give me a gift last night that I can now use in a more global way. So, but yes, it's a donut, not an owl. And no, I was not, I'm not even going to say it. So insane. People are freaking insane. So, okay, with that being said, that's my little, yes, I got time today. Talk. Tell me what you think of that segment. Enter at your own risk, too. So anyway, the lipstick, it's not perfect, but I went through that Ulta. These people thought I was nuts because I brought my one. I have about that much left of it. And I swatched it on my wrist. And I literally went through that entire store twice looking, everything from the cheapest to I saw some $42 tube of lipstick. Like, are you kidding me? But if it was the right color, I might have gone there because I'm on a mission. This is not. But it's close. It's the closest thing in the store. So I'm going around swatching, and then because they have all these stations where you can, take off the makeup and all this stuff. So they want you to try it. They have testers. Except for the cheap stuff, they don't have testers. So I'm testing. A couple girls came up to me, and I imagine they think I'm weird. They're probably thinking I'm keep an eye on this one, because I'm not putting anything in a basket or anything. I'm just going from slowly section to section to section, testing these things. So anyway, this one girl comes up to me and she's like, what are you doing? Do you need help? I'm like, if you'd want to help me, but I don't know if you can't. I said, this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to swatch this. I'm trying to compare this. And I said, clearly, as usual, I'm completely out of style. I'm always I've been this way since I was in my 20s and 30s. I'm always a few years behind the styles. So all of the colors are warm. And this is, sorry for people that don't care about this. Feel free to skip it. But there's just sort of a fashion of this, a trend of colors being more warm tones, and this is not a warm tone. So it just kind of doesn't exist. And also, it's hard to find a tube of lipstick anymore. There are all these lip plumpers, and they're with a applicator, and, just give me a freaking tube of lipstick, because I guess I'm an old lady now, and I'm not with the trends. There are lip oils and plumpers and glosses and balms and all this. Where's the freaking tubes of lipstick? So I was ready to give up. And this other woman comes out of nowhere. She goes, I hear you're having trouble. So they're it was kind of slow in there. And I said, I am, but I think I'm ready to give up. And I showed her one. I had one in my hand. She goes, no, that's definitely not it. I'm like, you're right, it's not. I was going to buy it by default. She goes, let me look. She goes to the bottom freaking row of a very inexpensive brand. It's $6, okay? Finds a tester, puts it on. Now she's got the swatch on her wrist, and of my, that I brought in there, and pulls it out, and it's an almost identical match. So I can't believe you found. How did you go straight to it? And the other girl had a lot, because a lot of girls that work in a place like that wear a lot of makeup, because what else they have to do with their time but do each other's makeup and stuff. She had a very simple makeup look or anything like that, but girlfriend knows her colors, so she found it for me. But I put it on. It's not quite right, but it's close enough. And anyway, I was glad to go in there and do that and then walk out with something. And anyway, I went back and found her and thanked her after that. You were really good at this. How did you do that? But I think I'll go to one more place, Sephora, and see if I can be on my quest a little bit more. I Googled the actual thing. It's a matte color. And people are selling them on Poshmark for $100 and used. It's this was, I guess, a very popular color. And because you can't get it anymore, people are I'm not that desperate. I have, I get something stuck in my head. And then as soon as I think, it should be easier than this, then suddenly, game on. So anyway, I came home with a lipstick. So the other thing I want to tell you, hi, boy. Come here, boy. Here comes Mr. Beasley. Hi, good boy. Hi, boo-boo. So the flower class, I think I'm going to do it a week from today, Wednesday. it'll give everybody a week to get some supplies together, because you're going to need a couple things. I'm going to tell you right now, and I'll put them, I'm going to make a thing for it. Okay, so here's the thing about the flower class. We're going to do it on StreamYard, and I can bring anybody who wants to on the screen with me. So it becomes like a Zoom thing. And, but I need your address, I need your email address, because I need to send you a link to get on there if you want to. You don't have to. You can just watch. You can just watch and not even make a flower arrangement if you want. It's free. There's no charge for it. But we do need to organize it. So it's going to be on StreamYard. If you're interested in getting, with a group of us together on the screen, because then I can also make the whole screen yours at the end when you want to show your whole arrangement. We can do it. We can be all on the screen together, doing it together. I can do different configurations of it. So that'd be fun. And so let me know. Just send me an email at katiecoolady@yahoo, and I will create a link for this. I'm probably going to do it I know that some of you people across the pond over in Europe and other countries, some of you are way far away who are following me, are on very different time zones. So somebody recently thanked me for doing something at 3 in the afternoon. So I was thinking of doing it at 3 in the afternoon. I know that kind of jacks it up for people that are working, but also not everybody wants to do something in the evening. So that's what I'm thinking of. If you absolutely want to do it, and absolutely can't do it at that time, because I know a lot of you are retired and flexible like me too, let me know. I'll reconsider it, but that's what I'm thinking right now. But a week from today, Wednesday, because the best time to shop for flowers, I don't know about grocery stores, but Trader Joe's, if you have one near you, is Monday morning. Or even a Friday morning, because they're stocking first thing in the morning, and you're not going to be competing with other people to get them for the weekend, because the florists really hit it hard for the weekend. So they'll be restocking everything on Monday morning. That's when I went last time to get them for my class that I taught, and the buckets were full. So you could pick them up on Monday. They'd still be fresh for Wednesday, or even go on Tuesday, and get your flowers. And I'll tell you how to kind of prep them to get them, prepared for the class, because you don't want to just come home and do nothing. You want to cut their stems and put them in fresh water and prep them for the class. And so then they'll be actually in better shape by the time we start to arrange them on Wednesday. And the things that you're going to need to get is 1/4 inch clear florist tape. And I just looked it up on Amazon, and you can get 2 rolls for $6 on Amazon. And you'll use it, because I'm going to teach you how to use that to create a structure in your vase for your arrangement. So it'll be a good thing for you to just have. And you need shears to cut your flowers with, obviously, some sort of shears, floral shears. They also have those really inexpensive on Amazon if you don't have any. I just bought a packet of 15 of them or something for my class, and they're not pricey. And then the tape, the shears, your vessel. So we're going to work with a vessel that's about 4 inches diameter at the top. So you could even use it would be cute with even one of those deep soup bowls that has a handle. I have one of those that would work perfectly for that. So look around. You can also get vessels like that at the dollar store, and a vase. But we're going to do that because we're just going to play with that kind of shape. And if you have, I'm not saying you have to go out and buy this, but if you happen to have a Lazy Susan, because we're going to work with getting it all the way around 3-dimensional shape. I want to do that because that's really a goal that I've been working on as a designer, is getting my arrangements more 3-dimensional all the way around. So I'm going to pass that along to you guys. For some reason, that's been challenging for me. So Lazy Susan really helps that, because you can keep turning it while you're arranging and seeing it from all sides. But you don't need that, because you can also just turn the actual thing with your hands or walk around it. So that's not necessary. But if you have one, pull it out. So yeah, let me know if you're interested next Wednesday, and we'll do it. All right. I guess that's it for now. God, I can't believe Beasley's been so good. He was ornery yesterday. He's into this thing right now of taking something he knows he's not supposed to have, and then he just gives me this look like, come and get it. He knows he's not supposed to, and I say, drop it. See, he's looking at me funny. Look at this. I don't want to say it too much, because it's kind of a thing that I'm training him with. And then he'll hold on tighter to it. And I try it in all different tones, saying that to him. And I've learned that when I say it to him, like really gentle, like I just said it, his little jaws will go, and he'll finally drop it. Then I give him abundant praise for dropping it. But he loves to take the naughty thing and it's usually something of mine, like these little socky things I had on my feet last night that are, for moisturizing your feet at night. As soon as I took one off this morning, oh, he grabbed it and ran with it. And then he turns around and gives me that look like he knows he's being naughty. Anyway, he's a little sweetheart. Aren't you, boo-boo? Aren't you? Yes, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. All right, guys, that's it for today. Hope you're having a good day out there. I'm going to take him to a dog park today. Finish doing my arranging, take an arrangement to a neighbor, and wait for my hubby to get home off his adventure that he's on today, and have another evening with the hubs tonight. We've been enjoying our time together lately. Catch you later. Have a great Wednesday, and let me know what you think about the flower class, and stay tuned for a live, because I do have a story that involves this guy and how he became a bridge to a healing between me and another person. All right, catch you later.